Jeffrey Dahmer. When Jeffrey Dahmer was 18, he was left completely alone. His dad moved out. His mom took his younger brother and left too. No phone calls. No new address. Just an empty house. Dahmer later said that was when everything really started to fall apart for him. From the outside, his life looked normal. He grew up in Ohio with both parents and a younger brother. But inside the house, things were bad. His parents fought all the time. His mom struggled with depression and took a lot of pills. His dad focused on work and school and stayed distant. No one paid attention to Jeffrey slowly changing. By 10 years old, he was collecting dead animals from the road. He would take them apart and keep the bones. His dad thought it was just a science interest and even showed him how to clean the bones. But no one asked why he wanted to do it in the first place. At 14, he started drinking before school. His grades dropped. Teachers noticed, but nothing really changed. After his parents divorced, Dahmer believed something that stuck with him for the rest of his life. People always leave. Between 1978 and 1991, he killed 17 young men. He drugged them and strangled them. He kept their bodies because he did not want to be alone. He later told police he was not trying to hurt people. He just did not want them to leave. In 1994, another inmate killed him in prison. He was 34 years old. Edmund Kemper. Edmund Kemper grew up feeling deeply unwanted. His mother often locked him in the basement at night. She told him it was to keep his sisters safe from him. She called him strange, said no woman would ever love him, and constantly compared him to his father in the worst possible ways. When he was 10, he killed the family cat. He buried it, then dug it up again and cut off its head. At 14, he ran away to live with his father. But his father didn't want him either. So he was sent to stay with his grandparents on their ranch in California. In 1964, when he was just 15, he shot his grandmother in the head. When his grandfather came home, he shot him too. Kemper later said he wanted to know what it felt like to kill his grandmother. He killed his grandfather so he wouldn't have to discover her body. He spent the next 5 years in a psychiatric hospital. The doctors decided he was safe to release. He moved back in with his mother. The fighting and tension started all over again. Between 1972 and 1973, Kemper, nicknamed the Co-Ed Killer, picked up 6 young female hitchhikers, most of them college students. He killed them all. After years of built-up rage toward his mother, he finally murdered her in 1973. He also killed her best friend. Then he turned himself into the police. Henry Lee Lucas. Henry Lee Lucas had one of the most violent and unstable childhoods imaginable. He was born in 1936 in a tiny cabin in Virginia with a dirt floor. From the start, his home life was pure chaos. His mother, Viola, exposed him to horrors no child should ever see. If he looked away or cried during her encounters with men, she'd beat him mercilessly. She forced him to dress in girls' clothes and wear his hair long for years. She'd parade him through town like that, humiliating him and making him a constant target for bullying. His father was an alcoholic who'd lost both legs in an accident. He sold pencils on the street and couldn't protect Henry from any of it. One freezing winter night, drunk and overwhelmed, he crawled outside and froze to death. The abuse never stopped. When Henry was 7, his mother hit him in the head with a wooden board so hard he was unconscious for days. At 10, his brother accidentally cut his face with a knife. The wound got infected, his mother ignored it, and eventually his damaged, I had to be removed. Henry grew up feeling completely unwanted and worthless. In 1960, during a Christmas visit home, his mother demanded he move back and to take care of her. They fought. She struck him with a broom. In a rage, he stabbed her in the neck. She died right there on the floor. Lucas went to prison for murdering her. Years later, he was released early due to overcrowding. Soon after, he started killing again. He was eventually convicted of 11 murders. For a time, he claimed responsibility for hundreds more, sometimes saying 600, but many of those confessions turn out to be false or impossible. The real number may never be known for sure. What's clear is this. Long before Henry Lee Lucas became known as a killer, his childhood had already twisted him through relentless violence, neglect, and cruelty. Albert Fish. Albert Fish had a very hard and sad childhood right from the start. He was born on May 19, 1870. When he was only 5, his dad died from a heart attack. His mom could not care for all the kids alone, so she put young Albert in an orphanage for a few years. Later, she brought him home, but those tough early years left deep scars inside him. He grew up, got married in 1898, and had 6 children. He worked as a house painter, but his mind turned very dark over time. He had scary thoughts about pain and hurting people. He even hurt himself with needles and other painful acts. Those bad thoughts soon turned into real harm against young kids. Between 1924 and 1928, he killed at least 3 children that police could prove. Some say up to 10 in total. He claimed over 100 victims, but most of that was not true. Known cases include July 1924, 8-year-old Frances, 10-year-old Grace Budd, the worst case. He tricked her, choked her, cut up her body, and ate parts of it over 9 days. In November 1934, he sent a horrible letter to Grace's mom telling her exactly what he did. That letter got him caught on December 13, 1934. Doctors said he had serious mental problems. He claimed God told him to hurt children. Many thought he was crazy, but the court said he knew right from wrong. He was found guilty of Grace Budd's murder and got the death sentence. On January 16, 1936, Albert Fish was put to death in the electric chair at Sing Sing prison. He was 65 years old. His story is still one of the most scary crimes in American history. John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy grew up feeling like he was never good enough. His dad was an alcoholic who worked as a machinist. He beat the family and called John stupid, a sissy, and a failure almost every day. From when he was very young, John tried hard to make his dad proud, but it never happened. At just 4 years old, his dad whipped him for accidentally touching parts in the car engine. When he was 9, a family friend started abusing him. John was too scared to tell anyone. He thought his dad would blame him and beat him more. He felt like everything bad was always his fault. He kept trying anyway. He did well in school, joined groups in the community, started his own painting and construction business, threw big parties for neighbors, and even dressed as Pogo the Clown to cheer up sick kids in hospitals. Nothing was ever enough. His dad still called him worthless. Then in 1966, things changed a little. John was married, had 2 kids, and was managing KFC restaurants in Iowa. His parents came to visit. For the first time ever, his dad shook his hand and said, "Son, I was wrong about you." 3 years later, his dad died. When John heard the news, he was already in prison for sexually assaulting a teenage boy who worked for him. He fell to the floor crying. They would not let him go to the funeral. Between 1972 and 1978, John Wayne Gacy killed at least 33 young men and boys.